Well, everybody strap in. This is about to get nuts. Blonde is directed and written by Andrew Dominik and is based on a novel by Joyce Carol Oates, and it stars Ana de Armas as Marilyn Monroe. This is not necessarily a biopic, but more a retelling and re-envisioning of the life and career of Marilyn Monroe. In this movie, Marilyn Monroe comes to Hollywood after a troubled childhood and tries to seek fame to make herself more important because she thinks it could be fun. But along the way, she begins to discover the terrors of Hollywood and the double standards and the completely horrible people that live within it. So I'm going to say something. I don't think anyone's trying to take their kids to see this movie or anything, but even for just adults that are not necessarily the best with films that are a tough watch, this film is rated NC-17, and it's rated that for a very good reason. It earns that rating. So if you cannot handle a film that's going to be very rough, do not watch this movie. This film is very uncomfortable. It is not an easy watch. It is hard to get through. It's very, very difficult. This film, without going to spoilers, goes into some things that involve child harm, sexual assault. It involves physical abuse. It's got a lot in it that, including like things that deal with abortion. This is something where if you cannot handle sitting through a film like this, you really don't need to watch this movie, because this is going to push it to the limits. I've heard a lot of people comparing this film to the level of Passion of the Christ, only for Marilyn Monroe. I think it's a bit of an exaggeration in some ways, but in some ways I very much see where that argument's coming from, because this film is just so non-stop with how just hard it really is. This film is trying to basically build on the message that, there was so much going on in Hollywood. This is the real what they did. And Marilyn Monroe never got to be the real Marilyn Monroe, and in the end, she doesn't even know. And it's sort of trying to play this as a psychological film as well, but I feel like the answer is never completely gotten to in the best way, and I do feel that after a certain point, you can only have so much vulgar explanations before it just begins to get a little overboard. This film might have reached that level. At the same time, I see exactly what Andrew Dominik's going for. He's trying to make this realistic, and he's commenting on the way that was by the way this film is made, but it's still just something that is so strange, and it's not something that lends itself to rewatchability, or barely even watchability the first time you watch it. Ana de Armas as Marilyn Monroe is absolutely superb. She's fantastic in this role. Any doubts anyone had about her, I don't care what it was concerning the accent, anything, throw it out. She's great. If nothing else about this movie, her performance is wonderful. I loved it so much. She did such a great job. There's been buzz of people saying she should get Oscar nominated. I would totally see that, and I would go for that, because she put so much work into this to really encapsulate Marilyn Monroe, and her performance, I feel like, should not be, messed with, or it shouldn't be a reflection based on your opinion on this movie. I think outside of just looking at everything like that, she does a really great job. Again, this movie is not, something that's amazing, but it had tons of very good performances in here, and the movie looks absolutely gorgeous. The direction is wonderful. I do think the script, as I said, is a bit of an issue, but as for the ability to recreate things from the 50s and make me feel like I was there, they did an excellent job with that. There is some brilliance to this film. There's some intelligence, and I kind of get what it's going for, but the way it's going for it is so hard to watch along the way that I struggle to blend with it. And it's something where I'm still trying to process it. It's just that hard. So I don't really know what else to do for this film. I'm really not going to recommend it, but I'm not recommending it. This is just something that's up to you. This is something you need to decide on your own. I think you should read some parents' guides first. You should read up on it, then make your decision, because this film is just overwhelming, honestly, in the best and worst possible ways. And with that said, I literally have nothing else to say on this film other than it's up to you. This is something you need to make a decision on your own. I'm going to give Blonde a 5 out of 10. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see y'all next time.